Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Project O. Um, Welcome on this Sunday morning. It is a rainy Sunday morning here in Georgia. Um, there was lightning and thunder earlier. Um, if I open the door and hear the rain, just like Pappy says, it'll sound like a cow pissing on a flat rock. That one's for you, Pappy. That's one of your sayings. But anyway, just to touch up on a few things. I saw Brian's video earlier. He wrapped up his C7-R. I'm still working on mine, but I also have an unboxing of another kit that I will do on this video. But I'm gonna flip this around and show you where I'm at on my C7. So hang out for a second. All right, so here we go. As any build, as anybody knows, when you work on these things, you tend to move relatively quickly when you first get started. You're on fire, gluing pieces together, putting stuff together. But then as you get closer to the end and you see the end in sight, you're like, oh man, I need to touch this up. I need to touch that up. I need to do this with that. Right now, I was working on some final decals. Not too sure if you're gonna be able, if it, there it is. Those little black dots, I guess for the panels. I guess they're locking rivets of some sort. And then I touched up some painting yesterday. My pillars, my inside the hood, stuff like that. So just kind of touching it up, and then of course I'm wrapping my wing. It does come with a carbon fiber decal, so that'll go on there. I have a few pieces that I sprayed yesterday. They're still drying, so I'll probably altogether maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours build time left. However, if you put in for dry time and hey babe, go get some coffee cream time and all that, you're probably looking at about better part of half a week to a week. um, and then of course school and stuff like that, and Andrew of course and his builds, because we'll jump on one of his builds and I won't touch this thing for 2-3 days. But yeah, but I'm right there, just like Brian said. I'm right there. I didn't think I was that close behind him, but I am. So I'll move this stuff to the side as some of the stuff is drying, and then I'll uh, I'll come back at you with an unboxing of a pretty cool kit that I was waiting for, a cool kit that came out and that I got, and something that I found at a local hardware store, on a recommendation from another hobbyist here on the tube. So just hang out and I'll be right back. All right, guys. So now the stuff to the side. Um, um, Real quick, tool grab. I bought these from from a person here on the tube that has a company, and he sells little tools to help us out. I use these for a lot of stuff. Most of the time, just knowing that I have them there makes a world of difference. And then another YouTuber had some ideas, or not ideas, but some advice, and he said that there's a couple tools at Harbor Freight that that he couldn't live without, and then he mentioned these, and so I went over there to check them out. And although the kit that I got from our YouTuber here, and I believe it's Miguel that I got these from, and they are awesome. When I went to check out these other ones, well, I happened to be in the store and I said, hey, I'll just take a look at them, and I did. And it comes with two sets. The ones I got from Miguel are 10 piece, and the ones that I got at Harbor Freight are 20 piece, but they're not the same size. Both of these are not the same size. They're micro, of course. They're very thin. You can use them for anything, and the packaging says you can even use them with your drills. But I usually just, you know, do the little finger twist until I poke through. I do have some pin vices that I use if I have some hard to reach places, but these are sufficient. However, the two that I purchased at Harbor Freight, um, very inexpensive. I think I paid $7 for both pieces, and they're not the same size as the ones I got from you, Miguel. Um, they're different sizes. They're a variety of sizes. I don't think color means anything. I think it just means, you know, to help you recognize what you used last. Um, but they are not the same sizes that I got, you know, from Miguel. So it is awesome, and it comes with 20 different sizes. So now I've got a total of 30 different sizes. So I'll be drilling everything. That didn't sound right, did it? No, it didn't. But anyway, so that's my stash ad, my tool ad. But I do appreciate the advice from the other YouTubers that run across things, that run across tools, kits that we might be able to use, and it's always a plus for us here at the channel. Again, guys, $7, 20 pieces. You can't go wrong, even if all you do is use one. Now, kit grab. I was Hobbytown USA. This is the only Toyota they had, which is perfect for me because I'm not a big fan of the number 11. Martin Truex I've always been a fan of for a very long time. I was very happy to get this. I'm going to unbox this on here really fast, really quick, not take up too much time on this Sunday morning. This is the first time I'm seeing this myself, so you know, so it's a first for many of us, I'm sure. I have seen some unboxing of the other kit, the number 11 kit. Again, I used to be a member of the club. I used to get a kit a month. Decals are awesome. Everything's awesome. I had a few personal issues that I had to stop for a minute, but I'll probably pick up here pretty soon. So, not that I won't continue purchasing the Salvino kit. So JR and the boys over there don't have to worry. I'll just get them, you know, as I can afford them from my local shop. But anyways, the box art, super cool. You know, just like the other, kind of going fast, I apologize for that. Talks about some of the other kits that are out. Super, really nice rendition of what it should look like. Sometimes I tend to look at the box art before I look at the decal sheet for decal placement. I've done so many of these kits, not necessarily the Salvino kits. I have done plenty. I do have plenty. Everybody knows NASCAR's is my thing. I just enjoy it. I just like them. The one good thing I like about Salvinos, however, is that they tend to listen. I'm sure Clay Kemp has a lot to do with that, but they do tend to listen. I'm sure they watch other YouTubers putting their stuff out there, and they pay attention to the things that are important to us. You know, they did start adding. I know the earlier kits, I did make a note on some of my videos, they didn't come with a dash. They started putting a dash, and no fault to Salvinos, but the first actual 1-1 cars that came out did not have a dash. They just had the roll bars. If you look at some of the earlier videos of the inside car cams, they just had a steering wheel hanging on a pole. The gauges were just hanging on another pole. So no fault to them, but I do appreciate that they do update their kits as they go along. So now we've got a dash. Since most of the kits are relatively the same body, same chassis, they do make changes to the important parts, to the integral parts of that kit. So this being a Toyota, obviously the hood has changed. Get some of these opened up here. I'm gonna have a mess. I got a little bit of time here before my guy Andrew wakes up. He's not a morning person. But anyways, the hood, the dash. I believe this is the air intake. It does come with a control switch box that hangs on the dash. If you guys pay close attention, with what they've actually done is the 2 bars that are included in here for your roll cage will be completely replaced by the dash, because these bars take place of those 2 bars that are in there. So just pay close attention. So that's good deal. Nice hood, nice plastic, no complaints, 0 complaints there. Boys at JR. The wheels, tires rather, no complaints. Everybody knows the quality. They have added a few pieces extra. If you don't know, these are the I don't know what they would be, mud flaps or water flaps, you know, to deflect water. But that's what these guys are here. They do have the new front piece for the bumper. Since it is a Salvino, the nose is, or not Salvino, since it is a Toyota, the front end changes. Everybody knows it's a Salvino kit, but the front nose changes, so they got to change that angle on it. So that's really nice. The body, I mean, everybody that has gotten one of these kits knows the quality of the plastic. They're mostly molded in color for you, in body color, so you do not have to paint it if you do not want to. But just as it was brought up on some of the other videos, sometimes you do get a swirl in the plastic, and you know, it just, if it's not going to be covered by a decal, you may just want to, you know, prime it and shoot it. Not only that, but sometimes you do have some mold lines. They're very well placed because they are hidden, but being a modeler, you do tend to find those guys. You know, every now and again you get an ejection pin. When these things come out of the mold, they come out warm. So when they come out, when they get popped out, there's usually pins on that mold that put them out. They're called ejection pins, and they come bring them out. Sometimes they'll dent them. Sometimes the worker that's taking them off the molds, you know, inadvertently we'll give it a little squeeze, so it'll be shaped different. So just take a look at it, but it's nice. This one here actually in particular I can't see anything, you know, that I would fix. I might just give it a light sanding up here for some partition lines, mold lines. Light sanding is all it would take. I would probably do this without painting. Most of the kit body, I'll slide this over to the side. Most of the rest of the plastic comes in one bag to make it easy, so we're not sitting there cutting bags, you know, all day. And I'm sure it makes it easy on the production workers on the production line, because everything gets bagged up in one. The only thing that they put in a different bag is the add-ons to that particular kit, to that particular body. So everything else is pretty much the same. You got your rims, you got your inners. The instructions does call for just a press fit. I like to just put a little dab of glue on the inside. I'm not going to be changing wheels, tires, or nothing like that. So for me to keep them all intact is okay. Sometimes when you bump them, they do split apart, and after you chase one of these little guys under a table, under a dishwasher, under your workbench, you'll tend to start gluing them together. Everything else, the plastic is awesome. No complaints. Absolutely 0 complaints. The trays, the bottom trays, you got to understand, they get put in here with all these other trays. They travel a lot. Sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're not. Sometimes the back of the truck gets warmed up. Guys, it's no big deal. As you build it, you will realize that, hey, if I have a little warp, a lot of times when you put the rest of the chassis together, the rest of the roll cage in here, you know, your transmission, everything, once you start building it together, it straightens itself up. So quit your whining and complaining. Unless you're missing half of it, or unless you got a big crack through it, you don't have to call Salvino, and they are great. You send them an email, you make a phone call, and they'll get it out to you. I had an issue one time with a windshield. I think I called them on Monday. By that Thursday, I had a new windshield. I was surprised. Super nice job, guys. Everything else, if you notice, you still have the parts to do the first kits that came out, which were the Chevy Camaros. I mean, don't, you know, all you do is just crop those up, throw them in your little box. You don't know, you may end up using it for something else or on another project. It's always good to have extra plastic. Everybody knows that, everybody who's been building. But the rest of the body is molded in this metallic. So if you don't want to paint it, you don't paint it. Just a little bit of black wash. If you choose to, you could paint your calipers whatever color you choose to. If you want to paint your belts, that's fine as well. Like I've said before, like I've said in the past, a lot of the engine components you are not going to see unless you display that engine outside of your engine compartment. So I usually just put them all together, fill that void, give it the weight, and they look good. They look real good. Flash, on occasions you get a little bit of flash, nothing big, definitely nothing big. Everything goes together very good. You build a couple of these and you realize that, hey, you know, you've got your roadmap. But everything else, the plastic is freaking amazing. I have noticed a few little changes from the earlier kits to these kits that they have incorporated that have made it easier to build. Maybe a couple rivets, extra rivets. The first ones, you know, were nice and smooth. So thanks a lot to JR and all the boys for making those changes as we go along. One question, I have not really figured out what this little box is for. I haven't found it on the instructions. So the past kits that I've done, I'm not sure if it's a camera, an inside camera. I don't think they'd be that big, but if anybody knows what this part is here, 72, part 72, it kind of looks like a, I don't know, maybe a flat wine bottle. I'll let you guys take a look at it right here. If you leave me a comment, let me know what that is, because I still haven't figured it out. I got probably about 10 of these just laying around, so I guess I could put them together and sell them as a six-pack, maybe. I don't know. Maybe put a six-pack in the car. If that is a water bottle in the car, I have not found the place that it goes to. Or, I don't know, that might be the cooler box for the driver. Yeah, I think that's what it might be. So I'll take a look and see where it's at. I might have to go back to my other kits that I've built and add that guy back on. But I am not sure what that is. The glass on these kits, first of all, you know, goes without saying. It is pristine. Take your time when you cut these little tabs off, and you won't scratch them up. But it goes without saying. Very nice, firm glass that's very clear. You can see the inside. What I usually do is just make a little score on the glass, and then I clip it with my nippers, and sometimes I have to come back and sand off just a little bit, but it's very nice glass. I usually keep it in the plastic just to keep it from getting damaged. So, the big reveal, the decals. Man, I am a decal guru. I have decals for days, guys. I have decals for days. Look at that neon. Look at that day glow. And they go down beautifully. Now, I have been using the Mark Fit because that is what they recommend. I grew up on the microset, but I have been using the Mark Fit. I have a couple other I actually bought another bottle the other day because I'm going through this like crazy now. But these decals are amazing, and they fit right dead on. So Plate Camp is doing a jam up job because these decals fall in place. If you mess up one of these decals, guys, they're easy to find. You can go on Mike's Decals. Very nice person, very quick on your orders. You just go on there, you purchase what you want. Who knows, you may end up finding something else that you were looking for because he has some stuff. Just scroll, just troll through his pages, and you will find some cool stuff in there. I wish he had some of the stuff that he has sold out of, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, just troll through his page and you will find something else. I always do. I go looking for something, I end up buying $10, $20 more of decals. So these are just clean decals, guys. Clean. I mean, I can't even, clean doesn't even do the work. They are mint condition. Very great quality. Very great quality. They have already cut for you. I've never been afraid of decals, of wrapping a car, because all you have to do is just work with it and eventually you'll get it to go down. But Clay Camp has started to now cut your decals. It makes it a ton easier for you. You don't have to cut them, you can just place them. These decals are so thin that if you do overlap the decal, once it's set, once you put your microfit and you do have an overlap decal, you will not see it. It will take a microscope to find where your decal connections are. So keep that in mind and don't be afraid. Just let your setting solution do its job. Trust me. I've been skeptical before about leaving a decal, that I've worked it too much where I've tore it, that I just started leaving them, and then the very next day it's like I'm the best decal putter downer there is, if that is a word. But they do come with everything, your tire markings, so you don't have to go off and buy your any extra sets of aftermarket decals. Some of the older kids never came with the tire markings, and then later on in production, once they lost the licensing to Goodyear, all the kits didn't come with tire markings. So third-party decal makers was where you had to get them from. But I mean, you've got, man, these are amazing, man. These are a clean decal. And then, of course, we get to the instructions. These newer kits, your instructions, or direct, well, not directions. Directions tells you where to go. Instructions shows you how to do something, I guess. But they did change the way you put your kit together. Almost all kits from like back in the early 1800s, when you were putting together kits from the 1800s, if anybody did, would start off with the engine and work their way out. These used to, they realized that there is a few minor, not issues, but a few minor things that they could tell builders on how to get these to sit properly, because the fitment, the tolerances are very small, that they've done away and started with the chassis. Of course, you don't glue your chassis to your pan till later on, unless you're going to paint it, or unless you've done a couple of these to know where you've got to make your little cuts and shave off some extra material to get it to fit down perfect. And then it starts from the back, from the chassis, from the transmission, and I'm pretty sure that was on recommendations from Clay Camp. Now you can build your engine, put it all together, paint it up as you want, and leave it to the side. But then once you get further along on your chassis, then you go ahead and you insert it. I have found personally myself that when you're going this route, if you put in your I think it's a transmission. And it's okay, I can't really see it here, but it is okay. They have it here further down. Your transmission cover, the not the transmission cover, but the drive shaft cover. I found that if you put it in place earlier on, it will give you a better fit. You can align it better. That's just personally, but you can align everything better. You don't really have to get back to it, because you can set your drive shaft through the bottom when you set your motor in there, and everything fits a little bit better, and you end up with 0 gaps on your front firewall. That's just me. You know, you build your model your way, but that's just my 2 cents. The fire bottles, I've always thought that's pretty cool how they went to the 2 fire bottle system. They do have different types of extinguishing agent. I'm not too sure if one's Halon, one's dry cam. I've never really paid attention to what they put in there, but I do know that they have 2 different types of extinguishing agent. And then everything else will just fit into place. If you look at the instructions here, you will notice that the old instructions have the 2 roll bars, or the 2 bars going across. Those 2 bars are eliminated because your dash already has those 2 bars put in there, which is very, very good. I have been making my own dash for the older kids, so obviously I'm omitting those. I'm leaving these in here because I'm just using that as a guide to just set them right on top. But I actually took a stencil cut on a stock card. I cut it out, so now I have a stencil, and that's what I do off of a sheet of styrene, and I'm able to make all my cuts, however, wherever they go, because you do have a roll bar that runs right through your dash. So just keep that in mind. It's not a bad idea, but I mean, that is what I do. Now the instructions are pretty basically the same until you get to the back side here. And then once you get to the back side, obviously you have your Chevy, your Toyota, and your Ford air induction system. I guess the Chevy and the Toyota are going to share the same air cleaner setup. The Ford's going to have a different type, but since the nose is a little bit narrower, you will have to use the different bumper guard for each Toyota, Ford, and Chevy make. But they do come with it. No complaints, 0 complaints about this kit. Anybody that complains about this kit and fitting issues and stuff needs to just slow down, backtrack, and try to redo it, because it goes together great. And then of course you get an attachment that lets you know different parts and changes that they've made to the kit. You always have the option of going with a lower tail fin, the clear glass, and then you just paint your tail fin, or you can just put the shorter one and just paint it whatever color you want to match your car, or to match that particular car for that particular track that you're doing. Obviously, the bigger the wing, the more downforce. The smaller the wing, the faster it's going to cut. It's going to cut through the wind. This week they are at Sonoma, so they'll be racing a little bit late. I don't think it's raining out in California. I hope it doesn't, because I'm looking forward to looking at the rain. So once I get done here, I'm probably going to finish on or do a little bit more work on my CR7, on my C7-R, and try to catch up to Brian. But anyway, great kit. I look forward to it. I'm probably gonna get started on it and get this together, because this was a kit that I've been waiting for. But anyway, with that being said, I think I am done. Again, and I appreciate everybody's support. Leave me a comment if you like something. If you don't like something, also leave me a comment if you don't understand something. If I made a boo-boo on something, let me know. Just drop me a line, drop me a comment. I try to respond to every one of them. Obviously, I don't have many subscribers, so I have many viewers, but the viewers don't ever leave a like or a comment or nothing like that. Just and that's fine. At least you're looking at my stuff. I mean, I don't intend on making any money on this. I'd rather have a good time going by and talking to all the builders at shows and stuff like that, and learning new 6-word cuss words from Pappy. That's always fun. And then these group builds. I think I'm part of every single group build. Jason over at Blue Ox said it best. He can't stop. A group build comes up and he jumps on it, and then like you said, like he says, it stalls you out on other builds. But it's not that I'm not building, it's not that I'm stalling, it's just that I get involved in one and one kit. I have many kits, many builds that are about to be finished up. But like I said on this video earlier, once you get to a certain point, it's just slow going because you're just trying to tighten it up and working on one little piece. You end up figuring out that you need to tighten up something else. So appreciate everybody and have a great week.